Alrighty. Yeet. It's all about Tracer, baby. Top 10 picks. I mean, Fan if he decides to join, which is up in the air. Kure obviously goes top 10. Caterpillar, if he decides to join, goes top 10. Ishbu announced he would not be contesting. Round 1 gonna be a snooze fest? I don't think so. Round 1, you know who's gonna be picked. It's about the order. And there's always the potential. Okay, might I remind you, Michael Udall is signing up to be an org. He's signing up as an org, not as a player. Hasu top 10, you have the issue of the draft, of the ping. It's a penalty, sort of. He's still very, very good. But what about when he's against other people that are very, very good, but they're on 20 ping and he's on 120? You know? I've actually had some conversations with Michael about the kind of org he wants to run and what he has in mind for his players. See, Ryokai, you're talking about round 1 being tanks and healers and maybe top offlaners, but what about shot callers? What about drafters? I think that it wouldn't surprise me if you think that there's someone that's really good at shot calling or drafting in that first round, even if they're not the best individual player, to go ahead and snag them round 1. Alrighty, let's take a look here. It's my first time actually looking at the screen. Yrel and Zool picked up, that's got to be either a main tank Zool or a flex Zool, with this Yrel up in the top lane in a solo. And I'm going to stay on cam during these, by the way. Usually I turn off my cam during casts, but because this is primarily in the interest of disseminating information about the CCL, and we have the game going on as a lower priority thing, then I'm going to keep the cam on, because that's the highest priority. I'm a drafter and shot caller? Sure, then make that case to organizations that are going to want to draft you. Hello, Pants. So yeah, guys, I think there's a lot of really interesting stuff that's going to go on in the CCL player draft. I didn't watch the captain's draft, honestly, but I think I am going to watch the CCL draft. Obviously, because, like, I might get picked, you know, like, if I play. I'm, like, 80-20 towards playing, and I'm looking forward to it. This is hella good propaganda for me, hell yeah, man. So now, any orgs that are interested in picking up players for the CCL, maybe this is something that y'all should be looking at right here, you know? Maybe you know anybody that's got an org, maybe you are an org. Maybe you need to be taking a look. We got some very good players that are going to be part of the CCL right in here in these games. Jaina from Lutano. So what I'm seeing here, on this left side, you've got the Imperius that stabs, that's a stun, and then you've got a Malfurion follow-up, and then you've got the Jaina blow-up, and Imperius does a lot of damage on his own. There's a lot of capability to just delete a target on this left side, and Tyrande doesn't have that much anti-burst capability, even with spell armor on her Q. And I'm not even sure what talent tier that comes on anymore. And I see a bunch of squishy heroes for the left side to blow up. Of course, I also see a lot of macro control. I see Zool root into Tyrande stun. Although they do have Nature's Cure on the side of Nintorii, who's a very capable support player, so we'll see where this goes. Okay, so that is indeed Imperius main tank from Noah. Daykwazaa opting to go for the Sonya. Daykwazaa is a very notorious Yrel player, using it in multiple tournaments, using it to get to Grandmaster #1 over in Europe, so not a surprise to me with the early Yrel priority from Kure, taking it away, forcing Kwazaa over to Sonya, and Rutzou finishing off the draft with Zeratul. I gotta say, Zeratul looks like he might feast alive on that enemy team. Not a lot of hard CC for him, very few options to disrupt him. And a Li-Ming gonna finish out the draft, coming from Sammy. Can anybody remind me, where's Sammy from? I'm not intimately familiar with this specific person. I have seen these 7 players, the 5 on the left and the top 2 on the right, and I do not know Whoopie, Skynox, or Sammy. Zool main tank, it does indeed look like it's going to be a Zool main tank, going to cover that macro, going to set up the roots for Tyrande. And then, yeah, we're going to see Yrel top lane, Falstad flex, and it's an interesting draft for sure on this right side. I really want, I'm not seeing like the insane synergies or anything jump out at me right off the bat, but I want them to prove me wrong. Sammy is equal to Kari. Who is this? Kari? British Heroes player. Okay. Alternate IDs, Sammy. Thank you very much. He went second in a Meta Madness. Gotcha. Thank you very much, Maka. Let me go ahead and swap this over so we get a little bit better frame rate. Just remember, guys, I'm going to be primarily focusing on the conversation aspect of things. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit of better experience for you. Hide my cursor. So this is going to freeze up on you for a second, guys. Please forgive me for that, but getting rid of the cursor so that doesn't distract you. There we go. I'm going to primarily focus on the conversation aspect of things first and foremost, and talking about CCL. So this is going to be a little bit different from a regular cast. But here on the left side, we have Nintorii on Malfurion, Noah playing main tank Imperius, Lutano on Jaina, Daykwazaa on Sonya, and rounding it out in the back, Rutzou on Zeratul. Please inform me if I'm saying that incorrectly. WoopieXL over there on Falstad, Kure playing that Yrel, Sammy playing Li-Ming, Skynox on Tyrande, and Centurion playing Zool. A little bit of trading back and forth here. Kure taking some damage, everybody's kind of walking away, but rotational advantage actually not 100% earned early on for blue, given that Centurion cleared out bot lane so quickly. Ooh. Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and just... Sorry, let me drag that up for y'all so it's a little bit easier. And we've got a bit of a scuffle over here in these bushes. I hate how you have to change all your settings to cast. Ooh, Noah missing the stab on a Centurion, but it doesn't matter, still picking up first blood. Lutano taking a lot of damage from WoopieX over here. Maybe one more auto? Oh, barely! And that's still a 2-for-1 in favor of the blue team here. A little bit of damage being traded back and forth. My scroll settings still aren't correct. That's much more natural. And 119 in, and the camps are just now getting started to be taken here with Rutzou and Nintorii on them. Hey, Mockery, tell me about CCL. CCL is an organizational league run by Heroes Hearth. The Community Clash League. It's going to have open org. It already has open org applications and player applications. And a delayed capture from the blue side here, looking for these giants, trying to time it up with this minion wave, not having the giants go in front of the minions, but rather behind them. Beautiful move. That's something that Nintorii, who's a member of Scythe Esports, really had drilled into him by Cavalier Guest, a coach for them, as well as a coach that I played under. Anyway, the Community Clash League, or CCL for short in Heroes Hearth, is going to feature 8 different orgs, after many of them have applied. From what I've heard, it's dozens of them. And 8 orgs will be chosen after a round of org interviews, and then there will be a player draft to be held where these orgs will each select 6 players to play in a 12-week-long tournament over the winter. The tournament games will be played over weekends. It's going to be exciting stuff. A little bit of a scuffle in bot lane. Centurion doing what he can to clear out the minions and clear out these camps. Ooh, Roots onto Imperius actually sets up Sammy perfectly. No need to aim whatsoever, following up on the Bone Prison, evening up the kill counts 2-2 between the red and blue team. Ooh, Roots out getting caught out a little bit here. Does a blink away, tries to Vorpal to dodge the Lunar Blade, or Lunar Blaze. I assume so. I'm just going to go ahead and check the talents for myself. That is indeed Lunar Blaze level 1 from Tyrande. And maybe even a Galaxy Brain prediction from Skynox predicting the Vorpal. It looks like it did hit anyway. And some early red control right now going up a kill. Kure and Quazaa dancing a little bit back and forth here. When it looks like there's some attention in the mid lane. Ooh, Lutano stepping up to Centurion right now. Noah and Nintorii are here. Root is still available. Entangling Root's got to be cast over the wall, and it's going to land onto Zool. Centurion definitely in trouble. He's going to go down. 3-3. Root's out, stepping up, interrupting the Dragon Knight just long enough from the red team while still managing to scrape away just fine. It's that healing fountain. Daykwazaa going to take back top shrine for the blue team. Kure jumping over the wall so as to force a fight. And Sammy's actually shown up as well, Quazaa with a good sidestep, even on that European ping, still able to dodge those magic missiles through the power of prediction. And now we see a heavy blue rotation to top side. Actually, Jaina, a little bit unsure maybe? Lutano putting out damage onto Sammy and Nintorii with an aggressive root. Blue team gotta step up if you have so many people in this top lane. Looks like they're almost unsure about this rotation. And that'll be it for this top lane little adventure here. Lutano getting aggressed on by the red team. Bone Prison, Nature's Cure is not enough to save him. And red team picking up another kill so far. 7 kills in the first 5 minutes of this game. Definitely aggressive. Lots of back and forth action. Oh, Nintorii just a hair away from interrupting that Dragon Knight. And also, Daykwazaa was about to step on that top shrine, so very, very near to the interrupt. Highly unfortunate. Good afternoon, Maka, Rob Christie. Mr. Other Messages. So now we're going to see a bot lane siege from the red team here, opening up the map a bit. Not likely to get more than these towers, given how limited the health in this Dragon Knight is. Also pushing a little bit without the minion wave, which is the primary element of the push here. Ooh, and we see an aggressive skeletal mages pushing forward. Bone Prison onto Lutano. A little bit of spread damage from the red team, but blue team has to back up a bit. Zeratul watching that flank, but Kure is shrewd and knows exactly what's coming, scouts it out perfectly. Kure's rotation towards the bottom side leaves Daykwazaa a little bit of room over in this top lane to push it out a bit. Get a little bit of rotational advantage over Kure, who's doing the same thing in mid, and both teams trading out their siege giants. So definitely doesn't want to go mist in mid lane. Rutzou's going ahead over to pick that up. Kure catching up on that mist and delayed top wave. Not necessarily mist. Noah getting Bone Prison. There's the Lunar Blaze combo we talked about. So much burst damage. Pops the Angelic Armaments to attempt to stay alive. Walking away with a little under 400 HP. Actually going back in. Mighty Gust from Whoopie. Skynox taking a lot of damage, but not quite finished off by Rutzou, who gets jumped on by Kure. Reverse stab by Imperius, and Rutzou goes down. Centurion's very low. Kure attempting to run away as well. Huge stab from Noah. Twilight Dream onto Sammy is going to finish him off, and after all of that, a 1-for-1 trade between these two teams. Now blue with an advantage in bot lane. Centurion taking some damage, rooted by Nintorii. Unfortunately, the burst just isn't there. Some good structural damage is going to come out. Blizzard from Lutano. Oh, and there's a stab from Imperius. I thought maybe they wouldn't have the damage to finish it without Lutano's Blizzard, but no, there it is onto Centurion. And the bloodbath continues. 10 kills in the first 7-15 of this game. And yes, this is indeed Zul main tank from the red side here, clearing out these minion waves and using Bone Prison as a setup for Tyrande's Lunar Flare. It's helped to get some kills so far. Li-Ming, it gives her a very long sequence of an enemy standing still to perfectly guarantee that all of her abilities will land. We're going to go ahead and flash talents here. I was almost expecting to see a Seeker pick from Calamity, or from Li-Ming, so as to take advantage of the fact that enemies would be standing still for so long and get those triple hits from her magic missiles, but instead opting for Calamity. Pretty standard pickup. Rutzou evading the enemy team in the bottom lane, buying enough time for Noah and the crew to show up. Bone Prison, sorry, not Bone Prison, Skeletal Mages trying to buy time for Jaina, the Tyrande. So you can tell it's been a while since I've cast. Buying time for Tyrande. Sammy going in for the reverse, however, on them, trying to get revenge. Mighty Gust trying to buy time after the aggressive play didn't quite work out. And 2-for-1 in favor of blue this time around. Haven't seen main tank Zul in a long time. I'm typically a fan of main tank Zul when you've got a Medivh or you've got a double support setup. This is a little bit interesting here, however, I do think that these players maybe know some things I don't, so I was willing to defer to them and see how it goes out. So far, not disastrous for the red team. Ooh, a little bit of a kerfuffle in top lane here. Kure's going to end up being okay after a tap to the healing fountain, and now Nintorii aggressing onto WoopieXLFT. He's going to be okay. Here on Nintorii, minus armor, that Hunter's Mark doing big damage. It doesn't actually do any damage on its own, it augments the damage of the rest of the team, but you know what I mean. Noah getting aggressed on once more by the red team, desperately trying to get away. Ooh, skillful dodge of the Lunar Flare. Rutzou now forced out. 3-man stab from Noah, big damage from Flash of Anger. Mighty Gust unfortunately stopping Arcane Orb from connecting, but buys the red team time to escape. Now licking their wounds, red team gonna have multiple members go back to base here. Actually, just one. Water Elemental still capping off the siege here. Possibly getting a little bit more quest progress for Lutano. Never mind, he's already finished Frostbite, meaning he has Ice Block available to use whenever. Lunar Flare from Tyrande, or sorry, Sentinel from Tyrande scouting out the siege camp, but the blue side is actually on Dragon Knight right now, getting that after forcing the red side over. So many people back to base, so many people out of the fight, and we're seeing a bit of a scuffle in bot lane here. Wave of Force used to peel for Centurion, who's walking away. Angelic Armaments used to finish off the tower. A lot of damage onto Noah. Goes back in for the stab. Actually an aggressive maneuver with Rutzou on the flank. Sammy, there's a Vorpal Blade from Rutzou right there. Sammy with the Force Armor. Not taking too much damage. Rutzou, dodges from Whoopie, even on the EU ping. Evading Falstad's attack with the blink, going back in. Maybe now in a little bit of danger. Actually still getting run down, and Rutzou gets out of all of that alive. 4 members of the red team dead here. Very impressive showing, especially on that dive. And now Daykwazaa with that Dragon Knight walking up, bullying the Falstad a little bit. And this is going to be a strong bottom lane presence from the blue team here. Do they go for triple camp? I think that I would rather do that than siege here, and it looks like they're mostly on the same idea here. Rather than going straight onto these, why not snowball your advantage, take everything off the map. There are bot bruisers, there's a siege camp over here. This can set up for very strong lane pressure that can feed directly into winning the game. And so here we see we've got Jaina capping off on those siege giants. The rest of the team here, or at least 3 members of the blue team on the bottom bruisers. Red team catching up, but they will not make it in time. And Noah gonna go to the right here. Oh, and a blind stab attempt onto Centurion. Doesn't quite land. Minus armor on him, though. Getting run down. Peel Lunar Blaze. Oh, Rutzou vorpaling back in. Whoopie taking a lot of damage. Tyrande attempting to give spell armor so as to help him survive. This is live right now, Ruby. There's no delay. This is active live casting of these players playing right now. Hold on a second. Noah getting bone prison, but some peel coming out here. Still rather deep. Centurion dropping low. Rutzou also hopping behind enemy towers for a second there, but he gets on out just fine. Oh, a little bit more back and forth. Kure dropping low. Does not have the Ardent Defender available for the Invulnerable. And entangling roots onto Whoopie. That's a long spear from Daykwazaa. But so far, no kills being traded here. Just some pressure back and forth. Level and a half lead being enjoyed by the blue team for now. Possibly looking to ride that advantage into level 20, where they're seeking to go onto one of these open keeps, particularly bottom lane. Noah zoning the red team out off of this mercenary camp. Man, it's hard to remember the words for casting after not doing it for so long. I was literally talking about this with Cav last night. I was like, man, what do you call the camps? It's like knights, hards, easy, siege, giants, bruisers. There's like a million different words. Hey guys, I want to remind you, I'm here casting as something to do, but if you have any questions about the Heroes Hearth Community Clash League, this CCL, that is the primary reason why I'm here with you today. Alrighty, red team capturing the top shrine, blue team got the bottom, and both teams looking right here in the mid lane at this dragon. Got a decent bit of pressure around. Sammy actually made a visit to top lane with that Li-Ming, attempting to see if anybody was going to be there. Still actually hovering a bit. What do you think about the teaser that dropped? I think that it's very interesting. It's definitely got some Icecrown Citadel vibes, but I think that it's almost mostly just a Leviathan rather than Icecrown Citadel itself. Maybe Icecrown Citadel got converted into a Leviathan? I don't know. I'm just excited to see where that goes. I've been very wrong about teasers before, but we have a fight on our hands, and bottom lane spear and stab both missed. And a little bit of stuff. Oh, Angelic Armaments deleted by Sammy. Rutzou pressuring the backline. Noah stabbing back in onto Centurion, who gets deleted. Mighty Gust does not come out in time. Blue team going up a kill, virtually guaranteeing the level 20 advantage unless red gets a pick right now. Sammy caught out a little bit. Gonna be okay. Actually teleports back in aggressively looking for a kill onto Daykwazaa. Nintorii Twilight Dreaming does not get it off before the jump away by Falstad. Barrel roll, that's the ability name I'm looking for. Right, let me just verify. I gotta know. Barrel roll. Yep, that's it. Alrighty. My question is, will you be playing Nova and CCL? No. And we've got Rutzou looking to jump in on Whoopie here in the top lane. A lot of health missing off Whoopie. Dear God, the man is getting deleted. 70 health, 120. Rutzou's got him down. Doesn't matter. Playing across the pond. Still has the confidence to pull off these mechanical outplays. And with level 20 advantage, a Dragon Knight, and a 5v4 in favor of the blue team, even Giants in the bottom lane down here, blue team is in a dominant, commanding position. Excited to see what they do with this here. Dragon Knight taking a lot of damage already, going a little bit ahead of the minion wave. Sammy doing an excellent job of poking it out. Hitting ability after ability, Rutzou diving in on Sammy, attempting to alleviate some of that pressure. But there's still a lot of damage going on to this bottom keep. Level 20 advantage still being held by blue team. But red team is just a little bit too far away to engage on. Lutano getting some chip damage on a healing fountain, maybe pinging it for his team to come assist him. Daykwazaa and Noah chipping in what they can, and now there's going to be a movement outward. Blue team moving as a unit right now. Kure may be unaware of this. Currently running away. Divine Steed helping with that rotational speed. There's already a water elemental knocking Noah away. Pops the Ardent Defender in the interest of staying alive. Assisted by the Mighty Gust from Whoopie. And nobody's gonna die just yet for now. Oh, Sammy, hold on a second. I was gonna say maybe I spoke too soon, but Sammy's actually okay. Still level 20 advantage, all the way into level 21. Before red team has fully caught up, multiple ults missing. And now blue team looking to finish off a steal of this bruiser camp just before the red team is able to really fight back for it without level 20. And a lot of pressure here. Blue team yet to lose even a single fort, but anything can happen in these late game team fights. Centurion backing away from Noah. He knows what's going to happen if he gets speared. It's happened a few times already, especially with Lutano. Just instantly able to follow up on that with massive burst, the minus armor. It's too much. Tyrande actually scouting out bottom bruisers with the Sentinels, sees the blue team is not on it, possibly deducing that they must be in this bush. We see some danger pings actually on top of Lutano. Blue team ceding the position, knowing red team is on equal tiers, equal terms in terms of both level, talents, and position. Not actually level, but you get what I'm saying. Rutzou in perma-stealth right now. I will remind you that heroes who have been in stealth for, I believe, 3 seconds or longer without moving achieve perma-stealth. They are completely invisible there, watching the rotations, waiting to catch Whoopie once more. Kure scouting out the bottom bruisers to seize that the blue team is not on it. Blue team now taking their own giants. Rutzou, the patience, still sitting there, ready, actually now decides to move in. Shifting to another bush, and red team possibly unaware of the flank angle created on them here. Tyrande's past few lunar flares, or sorry, sentinels towards Rutzou have not given vision. Skynox cleansing the stun off of Centurion. Big damage onto Whoopie, but Rutzou's caught out! Wow, a fast response from the red team onto Rutzou after waiting for so long for that engage. Finally gets it, but it's not quite what he wanted. Kure now running in on the blue team, attempting to take advantage of this kill pressure that they've created. Blue team, however, not backing down, going back in even in the 4v5, even with Noah very low. Multiple ults missing on the side of the red team. Blue, however, has most of theirs. And they are not shying away from this 4v5. Big damage onto Centurion, who gets deleted. And Azul unprotected in the main tank position. No double support, no Medivh is very susceptible to this kind of pressure. Lutano taking big damage from Arcane Orb. And now each side has a member dead. However, Zeratul, Rutzou will come up much sooner than Centurion on that Zul will. And we're going to see about a 30-second period of blue side advantage as a result. Red team looking like they're going to want to get over onto this bruiser camp in this brief time of 4-on-4 pressure. some bribes coming out from Whoopie, increasing the damage of his lightning BS, dude, I don't know, of his lightning rod permanently for the rest of the game. Can we see talents? Indeed we can. There we go. I see that my Hero's Hearth logo is in the way of the talents. I'm going to go see about rectifying that super quickly. And that's probably not the best solution, but we'll work with it for right now. Alrighty, Rutzou aggressing onto Skynox, missing a lot of health. Vorpal Blade, of course, to go right back in. However, he's not going to finish him off. Sammy trying to run away. Multiple members of Red Team at half. Whoopie knows this. He's going to gust off the members of the Blue Team. Gonna take a look at damage here. Top damage is actually Jaina and Li-Ming, the two mages of each side. And Rutzou currently in top lane right now, on his way towards this little fight in mid lane. I am in the way of first tier blue talents. Yeah, that's my bad, guys. I'll look into fixing that later. Yes, Daykwazaa went long spear earlier. Ooh, speaking of spears and stabs, Noah actually missing his. Kure jumping in onto the backline, knocking Lutano away as Daykwazaa dives the red backline. Huge damage from Rutzou, deleted again! Second time in a row attempting to dive backline and getting deleted. Noah returning the favor onto Centurion. Same two heroes getting traded 1-for-1, but Skynox completely caught out. Lands the Lunar Flare onto Lutano, but it doesn't matter in the slightest. And blue team going up a member once again. Noah's got a Dragon Knight. Core is open. This is 21 minutes in the game. They've got to be feeling good. This is going to be a lot of pressure onto Core here. Lutano dropping low to Whoopie just gets deleted. And Sammy doing what he can to defend the base. Long spear from Daykwazaa at range. Wintermute attempting to catch Sammy, and there's another spear. Sammy not quite dropping down, however. Daykwazaa still alive, and that's going to be a victory for the blue team. Let me go see about putting myself in the very corner here, and I'll put the Hero CCL logo. I guess I'll keep it right there. I don't know. And then you guys should be able to see talents and whatnot. But gee, that was a fun game to watch, I gotta say. Does not look like we'll be able to see the scoreboard. Never mind, sometimes it bugs, sometimes it doesn't. Let's take a look at the final results of this match right here. Huge healing disparity in favor of Nintorii on that Malfurion over Skynox and Tyrande. That's what you would expect. Tyrande's more of a burst healer and more about aggressive setup than putting out the biggest healing numbers. And the main tank Zool with no double support with no Medivh not quite paying off for the red team here. Very susceptible to deletion by this aggressive blue team roster. 7 deaths for Centurion. Taking a look over at talents now. Very standard Yrel build I'm seeing from Kure. The big point of debate between different Yrel players I find is the level 7 with Divine Steed. Do you go Divine Steed